Welcome to the City of STEM Science Festival. I hope you guys are having a good time today. My name is Dr. Jim Kisiel. I'm a professor of science education at California State University at Long Beach. We're going to take a look at a science mystery, and we're going to try to figure out what just happened there. We're going to play the video afterwards. We're going to sort of talk a little bit about what might be going on there. Let's go ahead and show that video one more time. Welcome to today's mystery moment. For today's mystery moment, we will be examining the magic bottle. What is a magic bottle, you ask? Let me show you. I have an ordinary piece of rope. Ordinary piece of rope, like you get at Walmart or Target or somewhere like that. Anyway, rope into the bottle, push into the bottle, and then the obligatory waving of hands. You must wave hands up and around and such. And then I flip the bottle upside down, waving hands all the while, tug slightly, and then I notice, it's magic, is it? But wait, there's more. I take the bottle, I wave my hands one more, and then I simply take out the rope. There you have it, the magic bottle. Except it's not magic. Can you figure out what it was? Okay, so who was that strange man anyway? Well, let's not get too distracted by that. What I'm interested in is what he was doing. So we're going to try to figure out whether that was really magic or not, and hint, probably not. So if you look at the slide that's up now, what I'd like you to do is think about the bottle. Think about what you saw. What are you reminded of as you think about that? Then, using your observations, the things that you saw, using your prior knowledge and such, I'd like you to see if you can draw a sketch, just like the sketch I have there on the page, but draw a sketch of what you think might be in the bottle. There's no right or wrong answers at this point. Really, you're just getting ideas and putting them down on paper, right? Nothing fancy, just an idea of what might have happened inside that bottle to cause the mystery to happen. I'll give you about 5 or 10 minutes or so to think about this, sketch it out, talk it over with other people, and then we'll see what you came up with. If you'd like, you can share your drawing by taking a picture and then posting it. If you look there on the right-hand side, you can go to Padlet.com /J_Kisiel/mystery, and you can kind of share with a bunch of other people. If not, no big deal. But again, this is not a private thing. You can certainly work with the people around you. You don't have to, it's not a competition with the folks at your home. So, all right, so let's take some time, just kind of check it out. If you have questions, you can kind of put stuff in the chat. Otherwise, I will see you in a little bit. You need to think about what actually has to be in the bottle to make that happen. Okay. Could there be something in the rope? No, looked pretty ordinary to me, but if you think that's part of it, then make sure you make a note of that. That becomes part of your model, part of your idea that you're kind of putting out there. Some good ideas coming out there. think about what it would like actually look like inside that container. What's going on? And again, hint, there aren't little tiny magic people in there. It's actually something that we can explain using everyday ideas, okay? Again, some good ideas coming out there. Take a look and see what other ideas people have in the chat. They may give you some ideas as well. Yeah, sorry, no small creatures. Again, we're looking at something that is of the natural world, of the real world, although it would be nice, of course, to have some little trolls or something in there, right? But no. Think about what's possible, and we'll take it from there. Let's see, what else do we got here? Okay, give you a few more minutes to sort of sketch things out. Again, don't forget you can go to Padlet.com at the address there, Padlet.com /Kisiel _mystery, and you can check out and see what other people are putting up there. Cool. I can practically hear you thinking about it now. Hear those pencils scribbling, drawing. And keep in mind, you're not really randomly guessing, right? You have some information, you have some evidence, you saw what happened. So you're using that to kind of come up with some ideas here. All right, one more minute, and then we will see what is going on and look at some examples. All right, I think we're ready to take a look at what might be happening. But before we do that, what kind of things did you come up with? What do you think might be inside the bottle, right? That's the question, right? But here's the thing. That process you went through, the making observations, the connecting those observations, sketches or models to help you explain what's happening, that's what science is all about. Science isn't about memorizing bits of information and big long words and stuff, although, sometimes that's necessary to help us talk to other people about science. But what's at the basic core of science is really about seeing things that are unusual, asking questions about them, and then trying to figure out and explain what's happening. Using our observations, using our prior knowledge, all of that kind of comes together in kind of a creative way to kind of figure out what's going on, right? But we are sort of relying on the evidence that we have at hand. That evidence is the observations there. So it's important to remember, science is something you do. It's a process of making sense of our natural world. It's not something that you read about necessarily. It's something that you're actively participating in. Okay, it's my little science plug there. But I think oftentimes we look at science, or people look at science and saying, oh, it's that thing, we have to memorize all those. No, it's not about that. So let's take a look and see what sorts of things. So I think the slide up now is of some sample bottles that people had drawn either this time or in previous times when I've seen people do this. And so if you look at these models that are here, you have a couple different ideas, but it's basically the same idea that relies on this idea of magnetism, right? So you might imagine, hey, I have a rope, it's got a magnet in it, it sort of sticks to the bottom. By the way that strange guy was moving things around and stuff like that, he was able to attach it and then detach it, right? Sure, that fits with how we know magnets work, right? So that could be a possibility, right? But then you have to think about what sorts of things might not work with that idea, right? So if you had a chance, you'd go back and watch the video and say, is that really possible? Could that really have happened? And so that's kind of how we sort of build on those sorts of things. So now, just to clarify, the bottle itself is just a bottle. Yes, as someone suggested, it's covered in something, but it's just a glass bottle. So it's not, at least that part of it is sort of the normal part. And the rope, as it turns out, that rope doesn't have anything special going on in here. It's just a normal piece of clothesline. So that's additional piece of evidence, additional piece of information that we have to kind of like, drats. Then the magnet idea probably wouldn't work. Okay, let's take a look at another example, right? So in this other example is kind of a different way of looking at it, right? So in this example, the person was thinking about what was inside the bottle was kind of like you might think about quicksand, right? And so this idea that, you put something in and it goes in, but then when you pull on it, it gets stuck, just like someone sinking in quicksand or something like that, right? So you might imagine that sort of thing. Again, they're using what they saw happen and connecting that to other things they've seen in the past, right? That's how it works. That's this whole idea of starting up with explanations. Again, we want to try to figure out if this is true or not. So what might we do? Well, we might look at the bottle. We might, ideally, you'd listen in and see, does it make any noise as he does that? Just so happens you couldn't hear anything in the video, but maybe they cut that out, right? So again, going back, you have something now specific that you want to look for to see if it's correct or not. So little like pieces of sand or little teeny tiny marbles or something like that. Maybe. Okay. Let's take a look at another piece here. One more example here. This one I really like because they really thought pretty heavily about what was going on inside there. So in this one, there's a whole contraption built inside the bottle, right? With little buttons on the sides, right? So if you look on the left-hand side, you have this sort of button where you put the rope in, and then sort of behind, I just kind of click a button, which causes the clamp to kind of go down on the rope, right? And then when I want to let it go, I just kind of push a little little thing on the bottom, which forces the clamp to open up. Very clever, right? So they're looking at these ideas of mechanics and sorts of things they've seen before to help them think about, wow, maybe that's what happened inside. I actually really like this example because it suggests a really creative way of thinking about what could be happening. And that's one of the things we have to remember. Science is not just about the logic piece, but it's also about thinking of different ways, thinking of creative ways of of how things work. So as it turns out, as much as I like that one, that's not what's inside either. So if we think about as we kind of wrap up here, as we think about what's going on inside the magic bottle, what's more important here is not necessarily what's inside, although we want to know, right? But what's more important is the process that you guys went through to try to figure it out. You looked at the observations, you tried to sort of think about what you've seen before, connecting all that stuff together, right? And that's a big part of what science is about. You don't have to know anything about magic bottles to sort of start making what we might call a hypothesis as to what's going on inside, okay? So really, it's never a bad time to do science, right? To try to make sense of the world around us. Try to make sense of something that's like, oh, that's kind of strange. What's going on there, right? The last thing I'll leave you with, again, as we go to the last slide, just a plug for the Science Learning Center, which is a science center, a small science center at the California State University, Long Beach. My name is Jim Kisiel. I'm a professor there. If you have questions about any of this, you can leave a note on the Padlet if you're there, or you can check out and I'm more than welcome to send me an email. The last thing I'm going to leave you with, because I know we're running out of time, is I'm going to give you one more piece of evidence, and then I'll leave it there. So as it turns out, I found this inside the bottle. So maybe that'll help you. That new evidence might help you think a little bit about what's actually going on inside, okay? And if that doesn't help, then I'm sure you can find something on YouTube or on the internet to give you an answer. But that's not the point. So anyway, pleasure talking with you guys today. I hope you had an enjoyable time. Hope you got some sort of ideas flowing there. It's all about science. So enjoy, have a good afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon.